here when we're talking about leadership are things that you can kind of figure out when you're having conversations with kids too. So can you kind of give me your idea of what you think makes a leader, kind of a define it?
Yeah, it's been an interesting topic of conversation. Again, going back, like when I played, you had one or two guys. Those were your leaders. They were defined, and that was the dynamic of that day. But really, whether it's right or it's wrong is a whole nother discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Those leaders are fewer and further between. They're more and more difficult to identify. And so what we're trying to what I've started really looking at is, do I want to grab that one guy that can galvanize an entire yes that guy is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming into college athletics as polished as they were even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I've really started to look for are leadership traits within kids.
Okay.
All right. I think that, everybody talks about this leadership group concept. I don't think it's a topic of the day. I think it's a legitimate piece of the puzzle. Some people are comfortable leading in certain ways. And so what I'll do is when I'm looking at a kid and recruiting the kid, what leadership traits might that kid have? And then how can we weave that into that kid's class?
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually you're going to have rising juniors and rising seniors who become leaders.
Mm-hmm.
That leader could be, is that leader the best player on the field, but they're just not comfortable calling guys out. Then you have the kid that can call a guy out because they have done everything right all the time. And it doesn't matter if they play all the time or key reserve.
Yeah.
You've got the guy that keeps the locker room organized to make sure everybody is on time for everything. And some leadership attributes are unique to college athletics as well.
Yeah.
And so do I think every single person is a leader? No. Do I think if you look at your rising juniors and seniors, can each one of them help lead the group in the right direction? Yes. Much like somebody can help lead it in the wrong direction,
right.
You can help lead it in the right direction. And then what you do, the teams that have really been successful that I've been around, whether it's at UIC, Indiana, my youth teams, my club teams, we've all had that whole dynamic where everybody's going in the right direction. And then on top of it, you have one or two guys that are really, they're the guys that'll go and get it.
Yeah.
But they've got another 7 guys amongst them that really get things going. I think the group that really flipped the culture since I've been the head coach started to get cultivated in 2012, but it was in 2013 where we had 7 seniors.
Yeah.
That had been through a lot individually and collectively. And we had one guy that kind of led the charge. But when he was leading the charge, you had the other 6 guys leading in their way that they were comfortable leading.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a coach, that's part of my job, is to figure out what way are you comfortable leading and put you in that role. And then when you find the special one or special ones, then you put them all together and you give them those roles. That's what I've found that are some of the different leadership traits. I think it's gonna be very difficult to find. It always has been difficult to find the really special ones. But I think if as coaches we can find those leadership traits, then you put it all together much like a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how you put it to where everyone can be a leader just in their own way and kind of add it in, because you're going to have more than 11 guys on your team. So you're not always going to have people that are always starting. So they all have a role. And they can still lead from the locker room. They can still lead from the sidelines. They can still step up where it's needed. So I like that you put it like that.
And I think it's more of a college, something like you would find in a college rank. Professionally, when you're looking at leaders, it's such a different dynamic.
Yeah.
But I think in college athletics, that's a big piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.